The Midnight Session, the morning.
Greetings, everybody, and welcome to the morning show. We're back at our regular time, our OG time. That's right. We like to mess with everybody's heads. We got the boss man, Andre, here. How you doing?
I'm doing excellent. Greetings, everyone. Glad to be here and glad to see all of you here as well.
Glad to be here. We also have Paul Chateau coming in from Canada.
Yep. Hi, everyone. Weather's getting better. Well, for the next couple of days.
For you, maybe. We just got dumped a bunch more snow.
Yeah, we had that the other day.
We did too, and then we got more.
Maybe
Good morning, Chris.
You over to us or something. I don't know.
Yeah, it came up through the U.S.
Came up through the
We
US.
had some snow yesterday. No, day before yesterday. It lasted about 1 hour. It was beautiful. I think spring is imminent.
Maybe.
Of course, I'm in Tennessee, southeast. So, right, Tom, it's not quite fair.
I'm going to kick that groundhog's ass.
Well, it is what it is, isn't it?
Yeah. Little
But we have
fix.
to wait for Easter to see whether Jesus leaves the cave or not. If he doesn't, then it's another few months of Christianity, something.
April 5th. It's a big day.
We got to feel guilty for a few more months, Paul. That's what it is.
I never feel
That's right.
guilty.
Is Passover? I got to find out whether Passover is on at the same time. I mean, sometimes they coexist.
Well, it
Weird how
tends to be
Jewish and
fairly
Christian
similar. so-
things seem to coincide.
Pardon me, what?
It's really interesting.
What, these ancient things
How Jewish and Christian religion seem so intertwined.
Yeah, I don't understand.
One is kind of a spin-off of the other. So, yeah,
Or a sequel.
It's a sequel. Yeah.
it's a sequel. That's
Part of a
correct.
trinity. I mean, trilogy. Get ready for
Trilogy,
that.
actually. Yeah, because you got the
Big
New
blockbuster
Testament as
coming
well.
soon.
Yeah,
Way before there was the new Brady Bunch, there was the New Testament. So
indeed. So it's a legacy sequel with rebooted for modern audiences.
Oh my goodness.
because you had the Son of God, that was the sequel.
Yeah. And the Return of the
Kinda
King.
like Dracula.
Yes, it's going to be Return of the King. It's all happening
Yeah,
in real time.
pretty much.
So
But
anyway,
you also have the
welcome,
two
Chris.
distinct. You also have the distinct fan bases.
Yeah,
Yes,
that's what
that's
makes you.
true.
You know what? The
Like James Gunn and Zack Snyder. Go ahead. sorry.
all the stories that came from the Bhagavad Gita, the Old Testament, the Torah, the New Testament, and from China, these tales that all we've been doing for the last couple of 100 years has just been feeding off those amazing stories and the morality tales and things like that. We don't have anything new to offer.
You're not wrong, Paul. And
No, it's true.
actually, there's people that would argue that there's proof that some of those stories in the Bible come from other sources to begin with.
Oh, that's
So-
not just
Yeah.
claims. This is absolutely 100%.
Yeah, so-
fact. I mean, because these are older things that we can trace to Babylon. And when I say we can trace them to Babylon, that only means the traces stop there. Doesn't mean that was the origin. They may
Right.
go back into before the Ice Age.
Well, that was their only entertainment.
Yeah,
There's
well,
also
I mean,
there's
there is some
also the,
truth to that
line
whole.
of
There's only
thought-
five. Oh, sorry, go, Chris.
There's also the line of thought that things like the flood, which is in ancient texts elsewhere,
Oh yeah.
and where did all the pantheon of gods and demigods come from? It could have come from Genesis 6, where those angels came down and said, these look like nice ladies. I'll let you do your own study of Genesis 6, but we'll
Yeah.
leave it there.
Let's just say there's a flood myth even in the Norse creation saga.
But my point is, we're not generate the cynical world we live in does not generate fabulous stories like that.
It's just getting
No.
worse, though. I mean, there were fabulous stories being told in the 70s, right, with Scorsese and Coppola. And
True.
I'm doing a piece that goes tomorrow morning on Bleeding Full. I hate to promote things that the current audience can't go look at right now, but it's all stemmed from all this backlash with one battle after another being so glazed at the Oscars that if you go back and look in film history, there was a period of time in the mid to late 50s where there were all these massive spectacles and swimming musicals and all these overspending big budget things that, the audiences were tiring of. But once the studios finally just tapped out and said, we can't do this anymore, you did have this new zoetrope type attitude, new era of filmmakers that came along that really started making interesting, gritty movies that weren't at all like what Hollywood had been producing at the time. And I just gave it a lot of thought and sourced a lot of stuff. I hope you guys will check it out in the morning, but it is a one battle after another sort of prompted that line of thinking. And it's not really original thinking, I don't think, because other people have been seeing it too. But I'm hoping, what was that movie from the guy that the YouTube star that just had a movie out a couple weeks ago that we were talking about? Slips my mind right now, but you have these young filmmakers that are just going outside of the Hollywood.
Iron Lung?
Yeah, Mark.
Markiplier.
Plier, yes, it. I think you're going to see more of that. I think you're going to see more and more, not necessarily a backlash, but just, hey, I don't want to do. We don't have to do it that way. We can do it our way, and we can do it well, and we can find an audience. And I'm encouraged. It might be a little too Pollyanna hopeful for a new era of cinema and television, but I think maybe things like One Battle After Another are going to get us there with some new stories.
I've said that I believe the new generation will create their own Easy Rider. We're primed for it.
Precisely.
Well,
that's the era I'm talking about too.
The Markiplier movie might just be that.
Could be.
Not exactly, but I mean, there might be something like that around the corner. And I just sent a story that's kind of related to this topic to Andre. I'm trying to find it here, but it was basically talking about how the Gen Zs are going to see movies, and that is where I was like, maybe we'll see the same thing. It kind of goes off of what you were just saying, Chris, because what happened is you're right. In the 1950s and 60s, the studios had to try and compete with television, so they would do whatever they could to try and make you go to the theater, whether it was stereo, 3D, big widescreen, whatever it was, big, musicals and spectacles like Ben-Hur and stuff like that. Well, finally, the audience just got sick and tired of it. They didn't go to see Cleopatra. They didn't go to see Paint Your Wagon. They didn't go to see any of these big, expensive musicals / whatever you want to insert here. But then all of a sudden along comes Easy Rider.
Yeah.
And that's my stupid phone in the next room. Sorry.
Oh, we got.
I was wondering,
you're right, Tom. It was TV. They were scared that they were losing audiences, and they were trying to make these huge spectacles that TV could never do to draw people in. And we even had. You didn't mention a few of the biggest bombs. Like, does anybody remember the Silver Chalice?
No.
That Paul Newman was in. He actually had to issue he ran an ad apologizing for that movie later on,
right?
Because it was a huge bloat disaster type movie, and it was television. And I kind of get into a little bit in an article this morning. Have you guys seen what Universal's doing to try to save cinemas? They've made up with AMC, who is, if you guys might recall, back during the COVID era when they started doing day and date theater and PVOD.
Yeah, with Trolls, which
Trolls World Tour. Yeah. Well, now they've said they're extending their window to 45 days and maybe even longer. New York Times actually reported this first, but we kind of get into a little bit of what remember the popcorn. What was that called? That the popcorn push or something. Oh, Project Popcorn Plan that Warner Brothers was doing, putting HBO Max and theaters on the same day. And that's kind of one of the reasons that Christopher Nolan took Oppenheimer to Universal. So Universal might be doing things right. I hope others follow suit. I think it was also Universal's decision to do that Trolls World Tour that caused other studios.
I was just going to say, they're the ones that started in the first place.
That's
so
right.
It'd be funny if they did turn around and go, because I said this and I got laughed at a lot for it, but I think it's true, is that at some point the studios are going to realize they need the theaters more than the theaters need them.
Yeah.
Because the theaters have been finding ways to make money without them.
Oh,
And
I agree.
Sooner or later, the studios are going to realize that the streaming thing was so stupid. And we've talked about this endlessly. And having Universal be one of the first ones to turn around and say, yeah, maybe we should try and at least hold it out for 45 days. That's a step in the right direction. Because we've been saying this for a while. There's no life in film anymore.
I'm not entirely certain that the theaters had the benefit in terms of sticking it out. I think it was mutually destructive, and they both decided that they were killing each other.
Yeah,
I think
you know, the moment I think you're wrong with that is Taylor Swift concert. That proved that they could make money without a Hollywood studio.
But we have been
Outlier.
working the weekly box offices, and when you've got $66 million as the best number for the week, that's not sustainable.
Yeah.
So I mean, I'm not disagreeing with you per se. I don't know, but I could say that
Right.
if the theaters are going, look, we are either going to be involved in mutual destruction or mutual beneficial, a mutually beneficial future. So there was no point for them to, Universal. I mean, you're right. Universal had that short window right before it went to VOD.
Yeah.
And the theaters could have come back and said, look, dudes, let's just keep this in the theaters longer. You're killing us. And then Universal goes, yeah, we're actually going to make more money keeping it in the theaters. So, I mean, I think they had
AMC actually boycotted Universal Films for a short period of time, or at least they were threatening it.
Well, and I know some people are saying that's a one-off, but actually it wasn't. Because I remember bringing up a while back when COVID first hit, they were doing some Garth Brooks concert thing, and they were showing it out at the drive-in where I live here, and you would have think Garth Brooks was actually playing. That's
Sure.
how bad the traffic was.
But there's
And
not
the
enough
same thing with
content.
certain sports events. No, I get you. And same thing with sports events and stuff like that. I'm just saying, like, between re-releases and other things, the theaters have, at least for the most part, been able to hang on a lot better than the studios are, because you guys are not wrong. Because as I said, I've been going through Easy Rider and Raging Bulls again, and they pointed out in that book that back in the 60s, when they were having trouble staying afloat, they were making about $100 million every weekend at the box office. And I'm sitting here going through my brain going, that means by now they should be making an average of $300 million on a bad weekend. What the fuck is going on? And they're trying to pretend that Hollywood is fine? This is a business that is now in the decline so bad that you could argue it's worse than it was at their worst point. Right? Because everybody knows the worst point in Hollywood was with that transition from the 50s into the 60s until we get to the 70s, when you finally did get the Mavericks coming in. And then that all changed again when Spielberg decided, I don't want to make independent films. I want to make movies for everybody and stuff like they used to back in the day when I was a kid and I grew up with. And that changed everything between him and George Lucas. So,
I think the previous big revolution came from the multiplexes, the invention of the multiplex.
Yes.
Yeah, I mean, it'd be an interesting history of all the tricks that cinemas have tried over its history to get in new viewers or attract their old attendees again. You know, there's some people that used to go to the movies twice a week and even more often. And you're right, there's just not a lot of great content at all, if you think about it, to make you want to go that often. And I guess I should point out that this plan, this new 45-day window is not does not apply to Focus Features, which is under Universal. So
Right.
Hamnet, Song Sung Blue, and movies like that would still be probably on that 17-day window. But Universal's got
I was
a
going
lot
to
of
say
big
Song
content.
Sung Blues already on VOD. It was on
Right,
video,
yeah, and
on demand
and
like
they're
almost
gonna-
right
and
away.
Focus Features is going to keep up that probably for the foreseeable future. But you've got that Super Mario Galaxy movie, you got the Odyssey, you got Disclosure Day, Minions.
Well, Andre and I took Focus to task for bringing Nosferatu out on VOD way too fucking early. That movie was still making money. We were
Yeah,
like, what
I
are you
wish I
doing?
understood why Focus Features is doing that and why they're also not going along with this plan. I'd like to know more, but I couldn't find anything.
Because word of mouth was just starting to get out about Nosferatu.
Yeah.
And they went and pulled it from theaters, and you're like, what the fuck are you guys doing? Like,
Yeah, it's almost like Nosferatu is such a classic, legendary film, but with a new young audience, I almost suspect that they're like, "What's Nosferatu?" You know what I'm saying? Like how you'll hear them say something like, who's Mel Gibson? Like they don't even, it's not even on their radar.
Well, it doesn't
And
really matter. There's
they
a
should
lot
have
of
left
the.
it in theaters longer. No,
I
no
think the
question.
Gen Z crowd picked up on it a little bit because they like Lily Rose Depp, and I mean they like the Skarsgård kid.
That's right.
And it has that vampire quality to it, and you know, kids love vampires. So like, I mean, everybody who I know who's seen it, unless there's somebody who's like really into the hardcore horror, most people have enjoyed it, right? I mean, there's some people who said it's just too slow. There's some people who said it's just, you know, a little
it's
out there, a little
interesting take on vampires too. You know, you mentioned the kids. I think it was Variety that did a study or reported on a Pew study that said that while only half of American adults went to the movies in 2025, which is kind of low, most of those were kids, young people.
I think that's the study I sent Andre. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, maybe so.
Because it was about how Gen Z is possibly going to save theaters, and that's what they're going to need. And it's kind of what the baby boomers did in the 70s and 80s. And I've been saying it, you need that. I mean, I don't know if you could consider the Iron Lung the easy rider that kind of sets something off that changes the way movies are made and people start making their own movies and getting them up on YouTube and whatnot. We don't know that yet.
Did you see the Chris and Alan Ing video where they talked about how while DVD sales are down, the 4K and 4K special editions are up something like 10 and 25%?
That's huge.
I didn't, but I saw the report about how disc sales are doing and how especially like the Gen Z are getting involved in getting their own music and movie collections.
Correct.
Because they're well aware that the stuff on streaming can go away anytime.
But
and
it's
they're
not
the same
just
generation.
that.
I think that was reviving the vinyl.
I think it's the collectibles vinyl corollary where they like having this stuff and they like apparently talking about it. And there's forums where they get very deep into the lore of how the movie was made and what did the actor do and what did they eat, and oh, good for them. I mean, that's the kind of crazy shit that we used to enjoy when we were younger.
Well, that's the last glimmer of hope, is if that generation, which would be my son's generation, I believe, and would make some sense because he was also, like I said, part of that generation that helped revive vinyl. And, you know, they're starting to buy CDs again. He's buying CDs all the time. Every time he comes by, he's like, oh, I just bought these at the thrift store. He's got a whole stack of CDs. He's like, you want any of them? You know? So, like, yeah, I mean, kids are doing that now. And I think that's a good thing. It's going to keep physical media alive a little bit longer. It's going to keep, you know, movies and music alive a little longer. Because if the millennials aren't interested in movies, well, then fuck them. Start going after Gen Z. Because at this point, Gen Z has similar tastes to the generation before the millennials, if you ask me. And that's where I think your audience is. And that's who you need to start pandering to if you're going to pander to anybody, because those are the people that are actually going to see the movies. Older folks and the Gen Zers. That's what it sounds like. So, I mean, what do you guys think? I mean, Andre, you got some younger kids. I mean, are they really even that interested in movies at all that much?
No, not at all. Only very, very rarely when there is something it's special. Really, it's more about doom scrolling and whatever trend is popular on YouTube or stuff like that. Really, YouTube is the big thing, much more so than a movie. Like the only time I get them to a movie is when I go to the theater, so they have to sit and watch the whole thing, which they do. But other than that, I mean, the attention span isn't even there to sit and watch a whole movie. Like typically what will happen is like watch a movie in theaters and then rewatch clips of it. Well, you have like the whole movie, but then watch a clip here, clip there of the whole thing, but not sit and watch the whole movie from beginning to end, because not trained for that anymore. Yeah. So I think that it's going to be a huge thing with the Gen Z. Yeah, you're going to have some, but I think it's a minority of the generation who are into that. Most are into doom scrolling. But hey, who knows how it's going to be as they grow up more and mature more into refined interests.
Yeah, and as Davina brings up here, Gen Z thinks compact cassettes are going. Yeah, I noticed this with my kid. He's got this obsession with classic, anything tech, like, you know, cassettes, 8 tracks, all that kind of business. It's like, this generation, I think, is really picking up on vintage, whether it's audio or video equipment. Same thing with VCRs. He'll pick up VCRs and he's got like, copies of Back to the Future on VHS and stuff like that. It's like, you got it on 4K. He's like, yeah, but that's not VHS.
You think, yeah. And what you're saying is so prescient too, Tom, because, I remember going back to LPs and cassettes even after DVDs came out, but I still would rather in my collection want, the high resolution physical media that is the best physical media. The same reason that you'll complain about a 4K that's not really quite 4K. Because you would prefer it being in its most pristine available condition, just shy of it being streaming only, right? Because you want to own the content, but you want it to be high fidelity. And there's such balkanization, if that might not be the right word, but how we're all consuming media, whether it's on phones or 4K or streaming or VHS or whatever. And I think too, back to the stuff about the movies in the 50s, trying to draw the television viewers back. I'm sure they never recovered. In other words, like movies were at the top of the mountain of entertainment, and then TV came along and it never recovered. They had to do things differently. They had to adapt.
Well, there was a moment where, it looked like it was going to be dire. Then the studios realized they could sell their old catalog stuff to television. So that was one point of income. And then most people don't know this, but they refused to advertise their movies on television back in the day. The first movie
they didn't want to give
any
life to TV.
No,
advertising.
Yeah, the first movie that ever did television spots was Sinbad, and then they didn't do another one until, guess what? Jaws. And that's what made Jaws the biggest movie of all time, is because they saturated the television market with ads for Jaws.
Yep.
And that was the first campaign you ever had like that, where they spent tons of money on this, television ads and all this kind of shit. Because before that, they avoided TV as much as they could. And then after that is when television started becoming part of the medium as far as selling the movie. And it kind of helped separate the idea that this is a movie, this is TV, and this is why they're different. Especially when you have a movie like Jaws, which is signifying that, right?
But TV did buy movies before that, and they paid a lot of money for it. And the reason they did was because in their schedule, there were every season, some new show would be a loser. They'd have to pull it off. Then you'd get ABC Movie of the Week, right? Those were their inserts. Yeah. Those were their go-to slot fillers, which generally worked really well depending on the movie that they bought. But they paid a lot of money for those Hollywood features,
especially the first run ones, because sometimes there was the case where they would actually pay for pretty much the budget of the film to get the TV rights back then. And it got to the point where I can't remember how high it got, but I mean, I'm sure it's backed off now because they don't have any reason for it. But that used to be that's what we pointed out. It used to be a big part of their income for those movies, is that network television premiere. They paid a lot of money for that.
But the movies would often be already out of the theaters, maybe even for a good amount of time. But because at that time the movies never returned and you had no way of seeing them, the television stations were a bonus.
Yeah.
And oh my God, we get to see this movie that we didn't get to see in the theater, or it's a movie that we did see that we really, really enjoyed, and we want to see it again with 87,000 commercial interruptions.
Right. Well, yeah,
and also chopped to shit. But other than that,
or split over 2 nights like King Kong was.
Oh, that was Dino De Laurentiis knowing how to make some money.
It was brilliant.
Because like we said, before video and streaming and stuff, the network television premiere of a movie was buco bucks. And Dino De Laurentiis, what he loved to do is add footage back into the movie so he could split it over 2 nights, so he could basically get double the money for the movie.
Yeah, wow.
The Salkinds did that with Superman 1 and 2 as well.
We're kind of in a similar era. If you think about it, though, Tom, that's why I brought up the TV reference. Always sort of has permanently taken a leg out from under movies, or at least a chunk. Now we have that with streaming, right?
And 4K TV and widescreen and all that business too.
Well, that's right. But now you've got even Disney. Have you heard of this Verts? Verts, what Disney Plus is pushing now? All their movies, they're experimenting with doing vertical iPhone-sized cuts.
Wasn't the joke on the Conan joke on the
That's on the
Oscars?
Disney website right now. Thunderbolts and so it's sad, but where Disney is chasing those people, maybe that's the right play. I don't know. I think like the Mark Plyer project and things like that may be sort of the an opening salvo into a decades-long resurgence back to getting us all back to the movies. Things have to change. My daughter, she's 25 and married, but so she's young, but she's in that Gen Z, I guess, and the only time she'll go to the movies is if it's sort of an event, like a spectacle. She wanted to go see the live action Lilo and Stitch because she loved that cartoon when she was a kid, right? We watched it, I don't know, half a dozen times together when she was growing up. Or Wicked, at least the first one, she really enjoyed. The second one was kind of mad, but she was willing to go to both because those were right in her wheelhouse of the things she liked. But as a regular moviegoer, no, she's probably doom scrolling. And she probably doom scrolls more than she watches streaming at all,
Well, let's see what you guys are talking about out there in the audience, because we got some super chats. I'm going to start from the bottom here because that'll go from the topic to a new topic. Drew Tipton sent in $4.99 to say, anyone remember Matinee? Good movie about movies for people who love movies. Yes, I do remember Matinee from Joe Dante starring John Goodman.
1993. And it actually touched on a bunch of those goofy promotions and techniques to get people into movies. Yeah, it was great. Good call there, Drew.
Yeah. Barry the Music Man says, am I the only one buying SACD or Blue Spec CD? No, I don't know what Blue Spec CD is. I'm gonna have to look that one up, but I have a few SACDs.
Yeah, Super Audio CD. Is that not it?
Yep. Yeah, I got a couple of those.
Can you hear the difference?
Yeah, the beauty of it is most Sony products have it built in. So if you have anything that's Sony that plays discs, chances are to play SACDs.
4K Blu-ray. Yeah, I think that my Sony 4K Blu-ray player actually
should have
that capability.
I mean, is it like astronomically different to where you're going to be like, oh God, yes, I can hear the difference? Probably not. Most people aren't going to hear like a major difference. But the beauty is that you can get a little bit higher res, and some of them have multi-track and all that kind of stuff. So yeah, it's out there. David L, I think is what it's supposed to be, 4312, sends in 5 and says, Gen X got spoiled with Star Wars, Indiana Jones, etc. Millennials got Lord of the Rings and Harry Potter. Then after Harry Potter movies started to suck a bit. Yeah, and this is kind of where Scorsese was coming from, where, he was saying these kids nowadays don't understand, or can't get into older film. But if you put Joker in a movie that's like Taxi Driver, then they can, So, yeah. And then Warwolf had said that, thank God Monsterverse is still good cinema. Well, some people would argue that it's not, but I have a lot of fun with it. I don't know about you gentlemen, but
as long as you know where the fast forward button is on Monarch Legacy of Monsters, that's an enjoyable show.
Oh shit, is the new season not that good?
It's totally woke, just like the first one, but the moments with the Russells on camera or the monsters, great.
Well, I remember only like
I never watched the old Godzilla movies for the actors. Trust me.
Well, I was gonna say the first season didn't get too bad except for that one episode, but otherwise, that sucks because I'm looking forward to that. But yeah, Werewolf, we'll see how the Monsterverse fares in the next year or so because we're gonna get plenty of it. Carl 006-1999 has been a member for 38 months. Says my niece turned 16 this summer. Her and her friends rarely go to the movies. Same goes for my cousin's kids aged 10 to 20. Well, is that in the Gen Z demographic though? I'm trying to think.
Well, close enough, I'm sure.
Closer than the 16-year-old would be, but yeah.
Oh, yeah.
But they might just be out of that range. But yeah, I'm sure there's exceptions, of course. Lost for Words is not Lost for Words. He's been here for 50 months, and he says, hi, panel. Hi, chat. Happy Wednesday. Tom, what's the update on Mead Channel? Did you manage to get it sorted? Can members, subscribers help in any way? Well, the only way you can help right now is if you want to help support me and you are able to, there's the PayPal, Venmo, and Cash App links that I've been sharing around. Otherwise, hopefully this next week we'll have some good news for you. I want to get some content ready to go when we drop the new channel first and foremost. So I'm still trying to get caught up with Andre's Nordic Noir crap. So, oh, that thing, I tell you.
Yeah.
So yeah, soon, hopefully soon. And thanks for asking, Lost for Words. And then Carl comes in with a member chat and says, we got this one already. How did I miss? Oh, because I went backwards.
You're going up.
Yep. Jason, I'm going up. Jason Webster says, with $5 Australian dues, if not too late, I have another great category for Mead Film Awards, Best Grace Randolph Moment by an actor or actress at a press engagement. Well, you're not too late. We haven't really sorted out any award shows yet, but you never know. I did like the idea, though, Jason, so we'll have to look into that. Then Dark King says, USA has flyover states, Israel the Passover state. Ooh.
Fly over and pass over. That's funny.
That's dark.
Yeah.
All right.
Well, I mean, just make sure you've got some goat's blood on the door. Sheep.
That's a Passover joke.
That is
SFX Sabretooth Raptors in the house. How you doing, buddy? Sends in 5 and says, Mr. R is Mr. Ruff of Marvel. Bruce done with Marvel. Close the book. Mario only thing interested. Okay, so I think what Saber's saying here is not interested in Spider-Man at all.
Yeah, probably, and this is likely in reference to the new trailer dropping on Spider-Man Brand New Day.
Yeah, which is one of our topics, so let's talk about that.
Let's get into that right away.
Yes, let's. Although there is one more super chat that has to do with the other point, unless you want to save that one.
Yeah, we'll go through it right away, and then we get into Spider-Man here.
Okay, yeah. Bass player 2011. If he says, if I recall correctly, SACD was the modern quad. The audio was slightly better quality, but to get the full experience, you need a 5.1 stereo. Yes, and that's kind of what I was getting at with the multi-track. So yeah, yep. And actually, there's still releasing a lot of the quad remixes or mixes and stuff like that through that. But anyhow, yeah, a Spider-Man trailer came out. So let's talk about that. Paul, let's start with you.
I didn't see it.
What? Go watch it.
I just found out about it.
Well, go watch it while Chris shares his thoughts on it.
All right.
I thought it was bleak, depressing, dark. I've seen some people argue that, hey, there you go, Paul. That's funny. Argue that people are, that's Peter Parker. He's now he's down to the lovable loser sort of thing. But this just, I don't know. Seeing him still pining over his friend and girlfriend 5 years later, he hasn't moved on. It just seems very weak.
Is it 5 years later?
Well, it's been 5 years. So
yeah, it's been for us, but like those movies, like the timeline in the MCU differs from real time.
Yeah, because Spider-Man 1 and 2 are actually.
When I look at my friend Peter Parker still pining over his lost girlfriend, I just felt like No Way Home really kind of closed the loop on that, and I thought we were going to get some new stuff, and really the only
we were from Sony when they were taking him back, and then they changed their mind.
Now we're getting the Punisher, which almost makes it feel like TV show to me. I'm sorry. And you've got the Scorpion. I don't know. It just seemed dark and dreary and depressing and bleak and sad, and there wasn't anything bright and colorful, and there really was nothing big and epic, cool, whoa, moment in the trailer. It's 2.5 minutes long, and it starts out with him just looking sad and depressed at the top, on the top of a building, sad about MJ still. Like he's been pining over her. In my experience, 5 years, right? So it's been 5 years for me, and I was never a big Zendaya fan at all. She's overexposed. She's unlikable in almost every iteration or character she's played. I was hoping he would get, what's the little red-haired actress that is attached to this movie? We don't know who she's going to be.
But she's going to be Dark Phoenix, yeah.
Okay. Maybe. But
yeah,
anyway, yeah.
That just
I just want to say about that.
Well,
Yeah,
I think they shouldn't be doing MJ anymore. It should be Mary Jane, the red-haired girl he falls in love with and eventually marries. This is nothing like the story that the title is based on, and it's just dreary. There's my take.
yeah. Yeah, no, because the red hair girl, I forget her name right now, but either way, she has like third billing in the movie. So I
Yeah.
think she has a substantial part that they have deliberately left out of the trailer. Because that's the thing. I mean, I think that this trailer is a little bit deceptively edited in that it leaves out key characters who are in the movie, but at the same time, I think it showed too much because, yeah, I was happy to see the Punisher. Let's see how the interaction is going to be.
Yeah.
It's cool to see Bruce Banner. Fine, it's Mark Ruffalo, but I can separate that. But what I didn't like was this
I'm back.
thing about his powers changing,
Yes.
mutating. We've seen a version of that before
Yeah.
in Spider-Man 2 when he had like the spider can't get it upness, which he had to get over. And here is like some kind of metamorphosis stuff like that. It's like, okay, there was like a time when he had like 6 arms or something like that in the comics before they changed their minds. I mean, is that what they're doing here or something? I mean, that's a storyline that I personally am not excited to see. And when I know there are other things in this movie as well that we're not seeing in the trailer, that makes me worried that this movie is going to be overcrowded, that it's going to be too much going on. We get to see some in the trailer, but there's much more going on. What I'm the most excited for is Spider-Man and the Punisher and how that's going to go out. Yeah, we saw Scorpion. Not sure I'm a big fan of this version of Scorpion. I mean, I like the actor who's playing him. He was fantastic in Better Call Saul. But I'm not sure that that's like the right take for the Scorpion. But hey, we'll see. They've been teasing him now for almost 10 years, ever since Spider-Man Homecoming.
Yeah.
So it's about time we do get him on screen. But
And this is the
again, my
tarantula
worry is it's going to be overcrowded.
And isn't this, who is this on the right here? Is this not Tarantula?
I don't know.
Look in the private chat.
Yeah, I saw
shared
that,
cover
yeah.
art, and I think he's got the spikes on his feet. This is an homage to Peter Parker, the Spectacular Spider-Man comic #1.
You're
Well,
right. It is.
And we also got the homage from the first Spider-Man and stuff like that. And
Yep.
some stuff,
Wasn't
so.
Aladdin supposed to be in this as well, or is that some other project?
Paladin? I don't know. That's a good question. See, I think you're right, Andre, that they are selectively hiding things from us.
And like, for instance, I never liked Tarantula in the comics. Now
Yeah,
I'm a
it was
big
ridiculous.
fan of Paladin. I'd be very excited to see Paladin, but
Man, you are bringing in resources from the outside like a psychic. Just like, what do you think about the trailer on its own, without all this other bullshit that you're bringing in?
Andre or me?
No, anyone.
okay, I'll begin.
Just based on the trailer, like stop
Extremely mixed. I
worrying
like
anything.
the Punisher, but don't like anything else.
Okay.
For
I
me,
liked it.
I just
Well,
wanted I wanted more excitement and colorful, big wow moments. I didn't get it. It just seemed dark and depressing.
I liked it.
The only thing
I
I
like-
can I agree with Chris on is that's, and this is not a problem that's just isolated to the Spider-Man films. It's a problem that's overall. We've talked about it many times with the way films are shot with digital and the lighting and all that business. This again feels like No Way Home when I plugged in the 4K version of it, going, why does it look shittier in 4K than it does in 2K in my 3D version or whatever? Well, the reason is because most of these movies are finished at 2K quality. That's it. So they'll dim them down and make them dingy looking so you can't see the bells and whistles, basically, or however you want to put it. So again, I kind of agree with you. Like, Spider-Man should be one of the most colorful of the Marvel films, and for some reason they're constantly shooting it with this downgraded. It's not even. It's more brightness than it is anything else. It feels like.
Well,
And it just feels.
it's not shot that way. That's how they've colorized it. That's how
Yeah.
they formatted it.
And I don't like that. And I agree with Chris on that part that they need to work on that a little bit more and try and make Spider-Man a little more colorful, because he is a more colorful character. But outside of that, I'm kind of with Andre and you guys saying like we're not getting to see very much. They're hiding a bunch of shit. I wouldn't even be surprised if there's shots in here where there's characters that have been removed or not added in yet and stuff like that, like we saw in like
100%.
like Civil War and all that business. And there's some people that are saying don't fret because they don't think Zendaya is going to be in it all that much. Yeah, I don't know either, because Chris, the only thing is you got to remember is that Spider-Man No Way Home took place in like 2024 because they never compensated for that 5-year jump. So I wonder if now they will be almost up to where we're supposed to be time-wise. Because basically Spider-Man 1 and 2 took place in our future. They didn't take place in our past. People
Okay.
kind of, because you got to go through the timeline, and it is wonky, but it is there, like to where they jumped 5 years. Remember with that?
You have to,
with
yeah,
the
you have
snap.
to remember in 2019 they jumped forward to the year 2025 or something.
That's
So
right.
everything from that,
Yeah.
it's only now we're catching up again.
And Spider-Man 2 picked up, or Spider-Man 3 picked up right where Spider-Man 2 left off, right? So you got to remember that. So like literally boom, boom. So both those movies took place in 2024. So even if this is 6 months to a year later, it still would put it in 2025 or 2026. And then he'd only been pining for about 6 months to 2 years.
Yeah.
So, but I get what you're saying, but there's that one love. Like there's still people from my past that, that I think about almost on a daily basis. So I can see where he's still,
to me, it just
hung
makes
up
him
on her.
seem a little weak. Like if he were my buddy, I'd say, man, come on, you got to get out
That's
more.
Spider-Man. I got like.
But it
red-
kind of
Yeah,
plays
but
into his
all his
sacrifice.
friends. It's not just his girlfriend. It's literally
Everybody.
everyone. Everyone
also
has ever
feels-
known him.
Well, it also feels like a cheat, right? Because what are we doing here? Are we just gonna undo everything they did in the last one, just like comic books always do? I guess
Yeah,
so.
I don't care. I'm fine. I mean,
Okay.
when I saw him in his old uniform
Yeah.
at the end of the most recent movie, I was almost jumped out of my chair. I went, thank God we got rid of that nanoparticle bullshit. It was really, really, I mean, to me, I think it was a smart thing to do. This movie feels very Spider-Man angsty comic book
Yeah.
stuff.
I hope it's great. And as someone who has enjoyed every single Spider-Man movie except for Amazing Spider-Man 2, I hope it's good.
I love the opening shot on the girder. That was fantastic.
You
That's
loved what
almost
on the
right-
girder?
Pardon me?
What you loved what on the
The
girder?
opening shot when he
Okay.
was on the girder was total comic book, very much like a McFarlane style of background. Not that moment where he's hanging.
No, he's hanging upside down or whatever.
Yeah.
Right at the
This
right.
part here where the camera does the
Yeah.
flip. It's total McFarlane.
Okay.
I mean, it's,
love
Yeah, I'm hoping for the best. To be clear, I want to
Yeah.
like this movie. Like I don't want to see Disney go under. I don't want to see Marvel go under. I want to see them return to greatness.
but I,
And I hope that this movie is going to be a step in the right direction. I mean, it
I
has the
didn't see
Punisher. I
anything in
want to
this.
like.
I didn't see anything in this trailer that would dissuade me from going to see it.
Yeah. Oh no, I'm totally going.
Okay.
They want-
I mean, I'm definitely going. I just think it feels bleak, lifeless, depressing, miserable, washed out. That's
That I can agree with. I see where you're coming from, and not so much in the story itself. I mean, I get where the gravity of the story is.
Yeah.
But the actual cinematography, the way it's shot, the way it looks, is not real inviting.
they can the next trailer might wow me. Is this a teaser or is this a trailer? I'm
This is
trying to-
supposed to
it's
be
a
a
full
teaser,
trailer.
or is it a trailer?
No, this is a full
Okay.
trailer.
okay. Yeah.
Okay.
2.5 minutes. I hope so.
Well, that doesn't
I'm
mean
not
shit anymore.
agreeing with you. I mean, it'd be nicer to see him more brightly graded. Put it this way: the movies are all shot in log, ARRI log,
Yes.
and so it has the complete 16, 20, whatever levels of dynamic range. They can
Mhm.
make it look like anything they want in
You can
color.
recolor it in a day. or at least
in
the
a-
trailer. Yeah.
They could recolor everything. There's nothing. It's not like film where you have to be so careful with shooting it the way you need to shoot it because your limitations are much greater. Oh no, the dynamic range of digital is so huge. They decide
Right.
later whether it's going to be ugly and turgid or
Well, I'm convinced they do that because a lot of times they finish these films in 2K and to hide,
well.
Hide the
problems.
screens. Yeah. It's the same reason all the Jurassic Park movies like to put their stuff in the rain, or the monster
Yeah.
movies want to.
It's
creepy.
edited at the highest not just frame rate, but the highest bit rate that they shot it in because it's Hollywood. They've got the gear, they've got the horsepower in their computers to do it. But it's all delivered. You're right, Tom. It's delivered in 2K because that's what the theaters show. The shows.
Well, that and special effects, because it would take them so long, I guess, to render out 4K special effects. There's only been a few movies that have done it.
I'm not entirely certain, but I'm fairly certain they composite in 4K at least because you get a much better result.
Well, I just know that that's the case, is that a lot of times, even though you're right, these movies are shot at sometimes 6 or 8K.
Yep.
They do all this stuff. Once they hit post-production, because of the cost factor and the time factor it takes to do special effects in 4K, 9.9999 times out of 10, unless you're Christopher Nolan or certain other people who can afford to have it done, the effects are done in 2K only.
Right.
So then they do the entire film in 2K, and as you pointed out, unless you're going to see it in some like specialty screening, chances are you're seeing it in a very low quality, even less than what your television at home would present.
But you'd be amazed. Let's say they do the 3D in 2K, and I totally understand because yes, it becomes exponentially more not complicated, but the time becomes greater. The larger the frame needs to be for rendering out in your 3D animations, but you can render it out in 2K and upscale it into 4K and stick it into a 4K timeline, and it'll still look pretty damn good before you then reduce it back down to 2K. But now we're getting into technical stuff.
I know, and it would make more sense to do it that way, but that's not what they do, unfortunately, Paul.
I don't know.
Because they do the final post process in 2K, and that's why a lot of these movies that are coming out in quote unquote 4K now, if they've been in the last 20 years, chances are they're just an upconvert, and they don't even go back and rescan the film. They just upconvert the original 2K master from when they sent it out in theaters. That's all they do.
Yeah, no, I can totally see that.
Part of it's laziness, the other part is a cost factor, I believe. But
again, it takes so much time to render out 3D.
Yeah,
the higher the resolution you want it to be.
And then Warwolf saw the trailer and said he's not interested.
Okay, then don't go see. I was going to invite you to come with me, so go. Sorry, Warwolf. That was
he's going to pay for it and everything.
Yeah,
No.
sorry. It was going to be my treat. Now
He's even going to fly you up to Canada. No, Warwolf says the change he's going through from the 2010 storyline, the comics, not reference to Spider-Man 2.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, but let's be fair. Like Warwolf can tell us that, and I can show you the Peter Parker comic book cover, but the average normie moviegoer doesn't know it, and they're going to say, "Oh yeah, they did this in the Sam Raimi version of Spider-Man," or if they're even that informed, right? Oh yeah, he does have biological webbing. That's what they're going to say.
You know, I actually accept it more here than I did in Spider-Man 2, because Andre pointed out the thing that bothers me about Spider-Man 2, and that's the only thing, is that all of a sudden he just loses his powers like he just can't get it up anymore. Yeah. And it doesn't make any fucking sense.
Yeah. No,
it doesn't.
In the trailer, spiders go through 3 stages.
That's what I like about this. They're actually giving you a reason for it, and it actually tells you that he's vulnerable when he's in between those stages. Yep. So yeah.
It's his time of the month.
It is.
It's interesting to see what they do with it.
Yeah.
I'm a Spider-Man fan back in the day. I've got the full omnibus line. I've got that Peter Parker #1. I've got the Todd McFarlane Amazing Spider-Man 300 sealed in,
Yeah, that was quite the run, the Michelini run.
But I feel like there have been moments, total goofiness in the comic line. Like you mentioned him having 6 arms. That was back around issues 98, 99, 100 or whatever when he
Yeah,
fought
and I prefer
Morbius.
that to Brand New Day, but that's me.
Brand New Day was really about it was this weird, bizarre reason. Joe Quesada, the publisher or the editor-in-chief at Marvel Comics at the time, hated the fact that Mary Jane and Peter Parker were married. Okay. The fans seemed to like it, but he felt it restricted the ability to tell stories. So he tried to come up with a way to end the marriage, but not it be a divorce, just end it and wipe it out of continuity or something. So Peter Parker makes a deal with the devil to save his Aunt May, as ludicrous as that sounds. He was willing to give up his life with his wife. Aunt May must have been about 183 years old at the time, I guess. You know, she needed to live longer.
I mean, shit, at that point, if it was like choose between your wife and your old aunt, it'd be like, God, my aunt had a nice run, you know?
I mean, it should have been that way, but
No.
Joe Quesada is one of these weird guys that, and there's still weird guys at Marvel Comics that don't like the idea of the couple being married. And they tease it every now and then with like these what if specials or whatever. What if they were married and here's their daughter, Spider Girl, and all this stuff. And the fans eat it up. They want it, but this is nothing. There is no Mephisto, even though he appeared, you know, as in that Ironheart. So some people kind of thought they were going that way, and maybe they will. You know, maybe so much of this is being hidden from us.
Maybe Doctor Strange wasn't Doctor Strange. He was Mephisto instead.
Oh, my gosh. You know, we say this is going to be bloated, but it ain't going to be nearly as bloated as Doomsday.
No.
I think the Peter Parker Spider-Man on Epstein Island was a mistake.
Me too. No, we on that we can agree.
The problem was he was being trafficked. He wasn't there to visit Paul. It's just
He was a teenager,
Whoa.
high schooler. Yeah. Yeah, it's bad. They covered that in the Electric Company's Spidey Super Stories series. I
a
think.
very special episode.
Yeah.
On a very
right.
special episode. We
That's
knew
right.
some
Big
shit was going to
Bird
go
on-
down when we heard that stuff on TV, right? You know, like tonight on a very special episode. Oh, somebody's going to get diddled.
That's right. Big Bird on Epstein Island.
He touched me in my funny spot.
I think that was the first time Morgan Freeman appeared with Spider-Man. It was on the Electric Company, right?
Spider-Man, I'm going to touch you in a special way. And it was that day that Spider-Man became a man.
Webbing.
Ex Morbius says, Spider-Man, let's go. Yeah. Yeah.
Oh boy.
And then Miller's in the house and he says, super keen for Dune and Spidey 4 and Jack Ryan movie. Yeah, I saw they were doing a new Jack Ryan movie. So yeah.
Is it going to star the guy from The Office?
Yes.
Trying to remember.
Yes.
Yeah, I was going to say,
Yes.
yeah, I think that's
So
what it
this is going from TV show to movie. Okay.
Well, this is he's already been the Jack Ryan for a few shows now.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. A couple seasons, I think, right?
Yeah.
This is Jack Ryan Ghost War. This movie is. So, yeah, it's starring John Krasinski.
And I guess I read this
Emily
wrong. I'm supposed to read it
Blunt's
as
husband.
Man Spider, not
The
Spider-Man.
best
I thought he
Reed
messed up.
Richards in the Marvel Cinematic Universe.
Yeah,
Spider
well-
they does whatever.
Not a lot of
spider
competition.
they-
Spider them.
Spider them.
Yeah. So this was supposed to be Man Spider. My
Does
bad.
whatever
Sorry
a
about that.
spider can.
They Spider. Let's go. Now, another trailer came out, also with Zendaya in it.
Indeed.
Doon, doon, doon,
It
doon.
did, and we're about to get to that here. Then I think we got this one before. Yes, we did. So we're caught up
Oh, yes.
there. And then we had this one left over. Barry the Music Man wants to start some shit. He says, all hail it's too early for that crap, man. All hail the 5th anniversary of the Snyder Cut. Oh, Lord. Has it been that many years? They just can't
Yeah,
let it
time
go,
flies.
can they?
Time flies. And I still like
Yeah.
it. But that's me.
You know, everybody's got their own taste. I've told you before, I've been cutting up the Snyder stuff into a TV show, but it kind of pulled back. But Bleeding Full posted something about James Gunn's DCU having a few cancellations and some duds. And man, we got so much back. I mean, the Snyder Bro Gunn Bro battle
It's getting
Royale
vicious.
is real. It's real. It's vicious. You're right. It's vicious, man. They don't like you to talk smack about either one of them. It's crazy.
Well, it's almost like one bird of the other. That's all I'm going to say. Uh,
Hmm.
And I don't know. I might have been as somebody who started the whole thing. Who fucking knows? It's
It could
crazy.
be argued that you were.
It could be.
Yeah.
Well,
Uh,
you certainly whether you started or not, you certainly didn't make it any better.
No,
You
I was
stoked
there
it.
at the ground level too. I was born to it. Like
You definitely
Yeah.
stoked it, buddy.
I was born in the dark.
We only give
Uh,
Snyder Bros attention when they drop a little cheddar. Okay,
That's
so
right.
that's keep it in
No,
the chat, folks.
I have a love-hate relationship with them guys. Yeah. I am the
I
OG
just like
gun
passion.
bro. I get accused so much of being his glazer that fuck it. I might as well own it.
Because it's true. Own it. Yes, you love him. Come on.
I don't hate him. I will
know.
say that. And then we got Paulie in the house finally. Paulie, did you watch
Ooh.
the Spider-Man trailer before we move on?
Yeah, it was all right.
That's a nice
That's it?
summary. Yeah.
It's all right.
Moving on to the Dune trailer.
Yeah, so let's talk about Dune. Because Andre and I know specifically, were very upset by the ending of Dune 2 and how it deviated from the book. And this trailer doesn't seem to get, this is more or less a teaser trailer, right? This one is an actual teaser, right?
Well,
Correct
it's
me.
more like trailer 1 where you don't get too much of the story. It's not an actual teaser.
That's what I was
because it's
getting
like
at.
what's
Yeah, they
2
don't give
minutes
you
long.
much of anything. Yeah.
This is like the kind of like marketing we're getting more trailers, right? The first trailer is more like setting the theme and the atmosphere, and then you get more actual story in a second trailer. So here we get a little bit more story. We get some teases from the book with the Jason Momoa character, who's back again as a Gola, which I'm sure some people will have misunderstood that didn't read the books. And beyond that, it almost seems like they've undone a little bit part of the ending. So it seemed to be like a big nothing because, yeah, I don't know. But either way, it's like, yeah, it's fine. It's fine. I
Looks
can't
like
say-
Pattinson has AIDS.
Well, I will
Just
say
look
that he.
emaciated. Yeah.
But never mind. He's supposed to look that way.
Yep.
So yeah, this is a role where he's not supposed to look too healthy, I guess. So yeah, I'm not gonna do that, and he's barely recognizable. Here we have Jason Momoa looking his best DiCaprio, but yeah, that's the Gola right there. Well, to me, it does. I mean, when I look at that for a fraction of a second, it looks like Momoa's genes spliced with.
He does have a bit
Yeah.
of a DiCaprio look to him, yeah.
From the-
Yeah, he does there.
Oh,
Can't
yeah.
help it.
And yes, I said DiCaprio on purpose. I always do. I like him, but I used to hate his ass. Then he ended up being in like every movie I like. So
Does Zendaya have equal billing to Chalamet on this movie?
she's second billing. I don't know otherwise. But
I think she's in the trailer more than he is.
I think so.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I mean, I'm with Andre because I'm like, okay, seeing them back together, they must somehow get around certain things.
Evidently, they've gotten around things, which makes the ending of the previous movie a big for nothing, basically.
Yeah.
Of course, yeah. Well, the difference, of course, is that they rush into war a little bit more, right? Because the ending, not everyone submitted the way that they were supposed to, so they've changed a little bit. But hey, not anymore. That they can go right around that if they want to. So I don't really know what to expect here. I'm hoping for the best. Really am, and I hope that the movie is going to round out the trilogy. And here's my really big hope: that this won't be the end of it. That they're going to continue the franchise both forwards and backwards. Continue it forwards on the big screen with the Children of Dune, and then continue it backwards on Paramount Plus, I guess, is going to be now, since HBO Max is in the
Right.
past, and continue telling the stories, continue filling out the Dune universe. I really hope they're going to do that. I don't want to see this thing end, even if I'm like a little bit so-so. I didn't like the ending of the last movie. I want to see them succeed, and I want to see this franchise continue. So I just hope that my lack of interest in this is just me, that I'm like bitter and jaded. But I really hope that this is going to continue. I really want to see some of the prequels
Well, and I was
be
with you.
brought to life.
I was with you on because in the trailer it says the epic conclusion, right, to the trilogy. And now I did note that it says the trilogy. So like you pointed out too, it could just be the Paul Atreides trilogy. And I said, yeah, that makes sense, because why wouldn't you, especially after the reaction to the second one? And I'm going to be honest, I'll tell you guys right now, I have a feeling Dune 3 is going to beat Doomsday at box office opening weekend. And the reason is because they have a stranglehold on all of the IMAX screens. So that means Doomsday is not going to be able to open up in any of the higher quality screens. So that means Dune 3 might just pull off an upset. And Warner/Paramount would be stupid to end this now.
Yeah.
Because I agree with Andre. There's so much to mine in the Dune universe that goes beyond and in the past that I'm surprised that first Bene Gesserit series wasn't the Robot Wars or whatever it is. Like Andre, I think you
You
said
talking
that
about
same
Dune
thing.
Prophecy?
Yeah.
Yeah, that was a huge mistake. They should not have
Yeah.
made Dune Prophecy. They should have gone straight for the Butlerian Jihad. But
Yeah.
again, that was the politics of the time. Oh, girl power, ladies first, must all be about the ladies. And then they forcibly made Dune Prophecy, and it was a completely wrong choice. I mean, it began with like a reference to the Butlerian Jihad, but that really needed to be the first series. It was a massive strategic mistake, but they can fix that. Just go and do the Butlerian Jihad series. As you have like 3 seasons of material right there, or 5 maybe, and it can be high-end TV that's bringing a massive audience. You just have to do it right.
And I felt it was the wrong move because throughout the films, they're already so keyed in on the Bene Gesserit sisterhood that you should have done something different with the series anyway, because there's other characters and whatnot that suffer and don't get brought up and or explained that you could have done series with, right? Like the Trading Guild and what's their faces, the teachers,
the Spacing Guild,
the Spacing Guild, and then I'm just spacing out everything right now myself.
The Navigators,
and then like the
Navigators
other guys
of Dune, yeah,
and the other guys that like Brad Dourif played and stuff like that.
The Mentats.
The Mentats. Like I would have loved to have seen a series on the Mentats. They don't really do anything for them in the movies at all, hardly.
I think they wanted their own Handmaiden's Tale.
Kind of. You're probably right.
Yeah, and it was a massive strategic mistake.
So everyone is freaking out at the beginning of this trailer that Zendaya is naming the kid, or guessing that it's female or something. And I think a lot of people are reading way too much into the.
If you go to like 18 or 19 seconds in, doesn't it kind of feel like it might even be a flashback sequence almost? I don't know. She looks very dreamy and happy.
Yeah, I mean, doesn't he have the kid with her in the book?
They have 2 kids.
Yeah, they do.
Yeah. And
in fact,
and the other
Lucas
one
ripped
thing
off
that
that for Star Wars.
The one thing that struck me about the twins. The one thing that struck me about which is what Frank Herbert was furious about. That struck me about the trailer was with the first 2 movies. In this third movie, they really, really nailed the visual universe that Denny assembled. And I went to me, part of any kind of world building and fantasy is to believe in the world building. And it seems to me that Doomsday is just a giant mess. Like I don't know what it's going to look like. This has got the benefit of the completed vision of Denny Villeneuve's visual approach to Dune, and it's brilliant. I mean, you can recognize it from the opening shot. That's a very powerful inducement to see the movie.
I think that is really one of his greatest skills as a director.
I agree.
Even on that Blade Runner movie that he did, so many of his movies, he is able to build that world or match that imagination that you had from something you've seen before or something that you've read or the painted covers of the books and so on. I think he's almost meticulous. I have to say though,
the warships and the way they do battle, where they just send out a whole bunch of incendiary devices or whatever all at once. I mean, it's brutal warfare. It's not pew 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 pew. Oh no, I was really impressed with just how nasty and how complete his battle sequences were. They were unremitting, and it seems to me there's going to be more of that here.
I think you're right. I'm just anticipating this being the end of the trilogy, and I'll tell you why. I'm going to admit something, probably to much rebuke and shame here on the show. I was interested to go see the first Dune movie. I had seen the David Lynch one. I've seen a great fan cut of it too, and wasn't that impressed. Never read the books. Was ready to go see this, and then it was Dune Part 1, and I thought, wait a minute. Just like I didn't go see this last Mission Impossible movie in theaters, the Part 1, something in me doesn't want to go see a Part 1 movie. I want to wait until I can read the whole book. I want to wait until I can see the whole trilogy. I want to wait. And I didn't know there was going to be a Dune 3 when Dune 2 Part 2 was being promoted, because I thought, okay, great. Now I can watch the first Dune on the home theater system. Then I can go and see Dune 2, or maybe they'll put out back-to-back IMAX, like not a matinee, but, double feature. And then they said, no, there's a Dune 3, Part 3. And I'm like, oh, good gosh. So I'm still waiting to go see Dune. I have nothing further to say other than Denis is magnificent at capturing the essence of these pictures and the worlds they're in. And I don't care for Zendaya, but I haven't seen it.
I will say you missed out, though.
Pardon?
I will say you missed out, though, because Dune is one of the only franchises where I personally feel that you could really see the size and scale on the big screen in the way that you just can't on the small screen. Just the scale of the desert landscape and everything.
It's like Lawrence of Arabia. I've heard that from others. So.
Yeah, the first one, especially the 3D presentation, was amazing.
Well, I will take advantage of any re-release of all three and go see them.
Yeah, it's totally worth it just for the visuals.
Yeah, because the 3D presentation really helped with the scale of it too. It made it feel even more immense and bigger. But as you see here on these posters, Andre, they're really pushing the epic conclusion bit.
Yep,
they all say it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but that has me worried. I hope it's just the end of the trilogy, because I really want the franchise to continue beyond the trilogy. But hey, we'll see what happens.
Yeah.
Paulie, you had some news about why they only dropped that trailer today, didn't you?
Indeed. Paulie, I'd love to hear your thoughts, and if you have any insights on anything we've said here.
And what you thought about it. You've been quiet too. You didn't say much.
Yeah, it's good. It's a good trailer. I'm questioning the rapid turnaround of Zendaya's character Chani when she was at the end of her 2 saying, "Peace out, bitch. I'm taking a worm taxi home." So,
worm taxi.
That was like, that was kind of weird, because obviously anyone that read the books knows that that's not Chani, right? She never did that. She's his ride or die, his sword.
Exactly. Yeah.
His sword, so to speak. So now it seems she's back in that. So I'm like, all right, it'll probably be answered in the first 3 hours of the 6-hour movie. I kid. But yeah, it looked cool. I gotta say, what I want to do is see these on the big screen, the trailers, because I'm seeing on my phone or here. It's like I'm going to the theater tonight and tomorrow night, so I'm actually looking forward to seeing these trailers on the big screen as well. But yeah, we're gonna talk about that Timothy Chalamet hate, this like kind of forced hate on him in Hollywood on the live stream after Midnight's Edge, because I think he didn't win Best Actor, and it sounds like this trailer had been ready for a while, and the studio was waiting to see if they could put starring Academy Award winner Timothy Chalamet. And so they were sitting on it for a few weeks, and now that we know who won, Michael B. Jordan, and they were like, "Oh, let's get the trailer out." For the new cycle, the last couple of days, which is new trailers, new news after the Academy Awards and those winners. So I don't think his audience really cares about that stuff. His crowd, you're starting to see a really young movie star flex. He does. I would be very happy if he just really doesn't give a shit about how Hollywood treats him.
He's kind of got that little attitude about it. Go ahead. Sorry, Andre.
Yeah, I have one question. It's something that occurred to me while we were on the pro show yesterday, Tom and myself, when we got like the full scope of everything he endured during the Oscar ceremony. And that made me real curious. Like, wow, they really went into him. And as we pointed out in our video that we put out on this a couple of days back, that the algorithm isn't pushing on anyone to check it out, he said stuff like this before. And we have video about him taking on opera and ballet before. Only this time, and it didn't blow up right away. It was several days. It was a week before he said it, and until it blew up. Until Hollywood really, really went all in on it in a way I have never seen before, like slapping a represented version of his butt on the Oscars. Imagine if they did that to someone else. Imagine if they did that to a female star. But still, there was no end.
Was that the butt joke? I didn't understand
That was the butt joke. He was the butt of that joke.
He was the butt of other jokes.
Yes.
Yeah, he ended up leaving halfway through the night because of how much they were doing.
And I'm curious, why this seems very extreme to me. And it makes me wonder. I don't understand
the backlash.
Yeah, well, Andre and I think have a follow-up coming up to this, because this is, and I think a lot of it has to do with A, he's a straight white male, B, he doesn't play the games that everybody else plays, C, he's not going to sit there and kiss everybody's ass.
Yeah, this is why I wondered. Is this someone trying to send him a message? Is this some kind of
absolutely. Absolutely. And there's other people that think it too. I mean, speculatively, that this is Hollywood basically sending him the message. It was a big shame on him for doing what he did. Because and it's not that they give a shit about. I think it has less to do about the ballet and opera and more to do with him basically saying, I'm not going to sit here and run around and be Tom Cruise and promote theaters. That's not my job. My job is to just be in movies. I'm not going to go out and promote a dying art form like ballet and opera. That's basically what he was trying to say.
That's probably like the final hair, because it's a lot of things of who Chalamet represents and what he does. And my hope is that he just doesn't give a shit. And I don't think he does. I think he's living his best life.
I hope he's not going to apologize.
No, but I'm just trying to paint this whole picture. He started off as their darling because, he was in a gay film and he got the nominations and the praise, but he's an actor, right? So he's doing different roles, and but he's too toxic for these guys because he's really into sports. He's really into hot women. He's unapologetic. He flexes about his own talent. They hate all that shit. And
the women he brings to the award shows are always really ugly. Like really.
exactly.
If you've noticed.
Yeah.
And they're always not showing their boobies. So here, usually in these kinds of blow-ups, it can always be sourced back to one person. Everything doesn't matter. All these stupid things, even when it goes back to the J.K. Rowling, the beginning of that trans stuff, it can always be sourced back to one complainer who, however they managed to do it, managed to blow it up. I actually saw his interview with McConaughey where he made these remarks, and it's actually no different from the video that I did back in December, where I joked, I wonder if he watches my videos, where I said, I'm hoping that, are the theaters going the way of zombie entertainment like ballet and opera?
Right.
And that's what I was talking about. And he even apologized in the thing. He said, look, I'm not trying to cast aspersions on ballet or opera, but the fact remains that those are subsidized art forms, and I hope it doesn't happen to theaters. I don't understand what the big deal is. Like, it's the truth. Someone got bent out of shape because they said that ballet is subsidized. It's true. Like, why would someone be... Why would someone go crazy over that? Because
I don't want you to say it.
Yes, you told somebody outside the family what you were thinking.
Yeah,
that's what he did. That was his biggest crime.
Issue.
Shouldn't be.
To them, it is.
Shouldn't be,
because they are because they are constantly under this thing where they're trying to pretend that the movies are fine and everything's fine. And go back to the original conversation that we started with earlier today. They are not fine. They are not okay. They are at a worse state than they've ever been. Period. There's no worse state than Hollywood has ever been before, because they even pointed out, even at their most tumultuous time in the 60s, they still averaged $100 million every weekend at the box office, with only a third of the theaters they have now. So as we could sit here and look at it going, this is more than a dying industry. It's pretty much dead. They're just keeping it barely alive.
Governments are not going to bail out theaters.
No,
Our
probably
Opera House in Toronto, a giant chunk of it was paid for by the city.
Patrons.
Another chunk of it was paid for by rich donors. I mean, it's the usual thing. Same with the ballet theater that we've got. Nobody doesn't know that. I don't know why they would be bent out of shape having that, mentioned by.
I think Paulie's right. I think it's
manufactured.
I think it's a big conglomeration of things. And as Andre pointed out in our research, we found that Timothy has said this numerous times over the years. They just picked this time to go after him. And it could have been as simple as they wanted to make sure Michael B. Jordan was going to get that Oscar no matter what. That could have very well been what it was. Because looking at it, it's like, yeah, Timothy Chalamet, the more I look at it, the more I see of him, he is kind of going to be the next Johnny Depp. He does not give a fuck about what anybody else thinks. He's going to constantly get nominated. He's never going to fucking win. It's just
going to be like Tom Cruise.
Well, less than Tom Cruise, because that's what I was saying, is Tom Cruise goes out there and says, thank you for helping save the theaters. Do you see Johnny Depp doing that? No. Johnny Depp is off in Johnny Depp world. That's exactly where Timothy Chalamet is. He's off in Timothy Chalamet world doing his thing.
Does anyone realize how in demand Timothy Chalamet is for different movie projects? It's enormous.
And that's another reason why they might be tearing him down, Paul, because they're jealous. Because he is somebody who's been more self-made by the audience. He wasn't somebody that the studios got behind so much as the audience did. And that's something I've been pointing out for the last few years, is this kid, when you come out with a movie that's about ping pong and it's a hit, then that's all on him. Nobody gave a shit about the movie itself. They just wanted to go see it because Timothy Chalamet was in it. And Andre will back me up, because I've been talking about that for years.
And the main character in that movie is not a particularly nice individual anyway.
No.
He's kind of a jerk.
And that's the point, is who wants to go see a movie about ping pong? Nobody. Not a single person, unless your life's obsession is fucking ping pong.
It's the biggest movie in China, by the way. No, I'm just kidding.
That makes sense.
Have you guys heard about Have you guys heard about what they were going to do for the ending of that movie?
Sorry, what was that?
Pardon
Chris?
me?
Go ahead. Well, have you guys heard about the ending that they had planned or talked about? It's sort of a supernatural ending to the movie. No. So you know the guy that's on Shark Tank that was in the movie? What's his name?
Yes,
Kevin
Leary.
Leary.
Kevin Leary.
Yeah.
So he says something about being a vampire or whatever, or living for a long time. And at the end, they had it all planned out. He was at an 80s concert, Timothy Chalamet's character was, and Kevin O'Leary, he turns around and he's there with fangs, bites him on the neck to make him, live forever or whatever.
Oh, Jesus.
Oh, listen, I'm 100%. A24 has talked about that numerous times that they had this plan. They even had the fangs made for Kevin O'Leary.
Well,
Wow.
to answer your question, Paul, it hasn't been released yet in China. It comes out the 20th of this month in China. So
Be huge.
Actually, that would be a great Shark Tank job pitch. I can make you live forever. I only need $10 million.
That would be a good pitch. Yeah.
the secret is the blood.
I mean, they'd all fight each other to invest in that.
To bite people. Sorry, Andre?
And they'd all fight each other to invest in that.
Right.
That's right. You give me the money or I'll bite you.
Let's see what you guys are talking about. Warwolf says, Chris Brawley, I did an article for Bleeding Fool a while back, the Riri Williams thing.
Yes, then this is the same Warwolf that, that's been 7 or 8 years ago. I almost called him by his first name. Yep. Send me an email. You're welcome to write again and contribute to the website. I do remember it. It was good. It's like a long clapback on Bill Sienkiewicz over. It was the peak woke DEI push in comics, and Warwolf pushed back quite well. Good to see you.
Indeed. And we also have Marksman of 117B says Nosferatu is famous because of the memes in SpongeBob. Well, that helped. Definitely helped. I love that they updated. I love that they updated Nosferatu in the SpongeBob show to the newer version too. I don't know if y'all saw that, but
did they do that? Wow.
Yeah.
Thank goodness.
Yeah. Indy Shade says, I think Spielberg put the hit on Chalamet. Oh shit.
Uh-oh.
He's a young Jewish superstar who made it without Spielberg's help. Steven should be agreeing with him.
That's actually interesting because Paul just said one person is behind some stuff like this. Now, I'm not saying that one person is Spielberg. I'm not saying that, but
there is
I heard some weird rumor about him though, like that. Like, yeah,
there is a battle though, obviously, that's become stronger in Hollywood in regards to being pro-Israel and pro-not Israel. Let's be honest. And a few years ago, up until a few years ago, maybe 1 or 2 years ago, it was you're committing career suicide if you spoke against it. Now it's in vogue, it's in fashion. So you're seeing a lot of those celebrities, as far as Free Palestine, Shado. Not, this is not an opinion. I'm not doing it. Okay, I'm just this is just observing. And I'd never seen that before. So maybe the fact that he is Jewish, I mean, man, it's crazy. It's crazy how instantly overnight you're an evil Zionist. You're this, you're that, you're a Free Palestine. Social media is fucking brutal, man. So
yeah, and I mean, I could see this as being like a hurricane or a whirlwind of things coming together. That could be just another thing to throw on top of it, on top of just pure jealousy. Because I mean, let's be real.
Yeah.
This guy's the only true movie star that has come out of Hollywood in the last 20 years. The only
something in the last 10. I mean,
at least 10.
20, yeah. Say last 10, then we were right because Chris Pratt was within the last
Chris
20.
Pratt, but he still was a little over. He's our age. Like, we got to remember that.
Chris Pratt is older now.
Yeah.
And he's canceled too in a certain degree because of his being such a Christian.
But he's a nice guy. I mean, like
he is. But I mean, yeah, he's probably one of the exceptions. But again, I point out he's a little older. Timothy Chalamet, at least, is a young kid, right? And some people bring up Zendaya, but she's one that they forced upon us. Timothy didn't seem to be one they were forcing upon us. He just kind of happened naturally. And I think that's another thing that bothers him because he has such a huge social media following as well. And don't think he doesn't get it because he joked about losing 14 cents
Yeah.
points or whatever it was.
I think at the end of the day, a lot of these new kids have huge social media followings, but do they go to the box to the theater?
Right. That's a good
That's
question.
all that matters.
Chalamet is one though that has proven that he can get the kids into the theaters though, especially with
Yes.
shit like Wonka and Marty Supreme.
And Bob Dylan, those all made money.
Yeah, well, Bobby D at least had the Bob Dylan crowd to go along with it. I'm just using those two specific ones as examples of it's purely the audience going to see them. Nobody
it's
asked for a
always-
Wonka prequel.
It's always nice when you have like a biopic and then a young hot name, because then you have multiple audiences coming out
Right.
to see them. Correct, yeah.
But if anything, he
Like,
got snubbed on that Oscar for
You
Complete
know, that's
Unknown.
just a power trip, man. It's pure politics. The Academy, I mean, they're awful. They're the worst,
Well,
and
the-
they don't like them for a while. Look at man, they haven't liked J-Lo since she made those comments about other actors in the '90s, and she still to this day has not been nominated for stuff that is probably pretty. She's turned in some good performances. They ain't never gonna give it to her, man. You know, there's just things you don't do, which is like, go after their own, publicly. You don't do that shit.
Part of the problem is, I mean, I don't know where Marty Supreme sits in the pantheon of the movie nominees for this Oscars, and not to deride any of the movies that I didn't see of the top 10, which were almost all of them except for F1. Someone said, and I don't know if it's true or not, they said that maybe the bottom or most mediocre Tarantino film is better than any of the nominees that we had this year for the Oscars.
Well, there was
And I
even
thought,
people with the meme. Oh, sorry.
Well,
Paul,
that's
I thought you were done.
I thought that was a really interesting comment. That, yeah, and you think of all the movies that he didn't get. Well, Tarantino hasn't had an Oscar, but
He's only had
Django,
one.
He did. Oh, for
He got
writing,
for best
yeah.
screenplay. Yep, for Pulp
Well,
Fiction.
but I mean, like when you think of movies like Django Unchained or Inglourious Bastards, and think that neither of those got nominated or won or whatever. I mean, that's just absolutely insane.
Well, it's funny you mentioned that, Paul, because there's a meme going around that Tarantino won for best screenplay this year
Yeah.
Why?
Sinners.
because he wrote From Dusk Till
yeah.
Dawn.
That's right.
So
That's
they're
Till
joking
Dawn.
he won best screenplay for this year's
That's
best
Till Dawn,
original
yes.
because
Funny.
Sinners won best original screenplay. But yeah, no, I agree with you, and that's why I hate Parasite. I don't care. The movie's probably good. I'm not mad at the movie. I'm mad at the fact that they nominated it in the category with all the other movies it shouldn't have been in. And Once Upon a Time in Hollywood is one of Tarantino's best. It should have won him the Oscar for Best Picture, finally.
And they need to cut it down to 5 top nominees. Get rid of the 10. This
They'll
is
blame. Yeah, we talked
insane.
about that. They blame Weinstein and Dark Knight for that, but yeah.
Yeah, well,
And
they
Pilgrim-
need to put it back to 5.
Pilgrim Media says with $2, I almost said OCP, the CCP organ harvesting crimes longer life. Are they? Is the CCP now harvesting organs?
Oh,
They
they
were
were
popular for that.
Us. My understanding was that we were doing that for Passover. So
I thought that was what the Mexicans were up to too.
everyone's
Yeah.
doing it.
No.
They-
The CCP is notorious for doing this, and you have like the Falun Gong crowd are notorious for claiming this. They've been doing that for ages. Now, I do not know the truth of it, but I know that Falun Gong, which is like this yoga group cult something, they certainly claim that that the CCP is targeting them for organ harvesting. Do not know the truth of it, but that's the claim.
Technically, OCP did organ
That's true, yeah.
harvesting.
yes,
Yeah.
I mean,
they did.
As for this longer life thing, I do not know, because here's like the thing, and this is the thing that people don't tell you about organ transplants. You have to be on immunosuppressants for the rest of your life to prevent like the new organ from being rejected by the host body, and those immunosuppressants in turn open you to a ton of other things, including cancer. So it may not really extend life all that much.
That's true. It is a struggle.
But
That brings us up to
Speaking of Asian communist countries, you should know that if you had a bet on it, Kim Jong-un won his election in North Korea by a landslide. 99.7% of the population voted for him, just so you know.
That was close.
Indeed.
That
It was
a nail
close.
biter. Yeah.
very,
It was
very
a-
close. Well, let's get on to our final story of the day
He was
here.
up against AOC.
Oh, well.
So Disney is already returning to divisive children's social issues with new chairman of entertainment. And this is Dana Walden, I'm assuming here.
This is Dana
Yeah.
Walden. Yeah, this is
So,
what she
yeah.
looks like in reality when not
What's the
blitzed up in
summary?
Photoshop too much. The summary of the story is that Dana Walden herself is quite woke, and she is making hires, and the hires have a history of being associated with organizations like GLAAD, and are seemingly making moves after Disney has moved towards the center to take it right back into the realm of activism, especially when it comes to LGBTQIAP+ issues in children's programming. Those issues more so than any others. That's the gist of the story. That appears to be, I mean, it's too early to say, but that is one possible read of the early moves that Dana Walden has been doing so far, because now Bob Iger is out as active CEO. He is the CEO in name only, or behind the scenes probably still, but right now you have Dana Walden, who is the one who is consolidating power. She's not formed technically like the full CEO on her own. There's also Josh D'Amaro, but Josh D'Amaro appears to have limited responsibilities. With everything that comes to entertainment, Dana Walden is running the show. And based on her hires, she appears to be hiring people that have a history of including activism into content. So if there is any kind of intention to go and stay in the center again, Dana Walden certainly is doing a very poor job of signaling that, let's say, so far. So Paulie, I want to hear from you first on this one. Have you seen this, heard anything? What's your instant reaction to this? Are you surprised? Is she speaking on behalf of Disney? Or is this what happens when you appoint an activist to this role?
I haven't heard anything. I mean, I'm not surprised. Whether it's a demotion or lateral move, they still take care of their own as long as they can, and that's what they're doing. I think at the end of the day, they could change a couple of edits, change some wording. As long as the what they're putting out is making money, then that's all that matters, So they did Hoppers, right?
Yes.
Which was pretty tame, but it was still pretty, you could say environmentally activist, slant. You could probably also tell it was a little watered down, so it could appeal to more mainstream. So that's why it's doing so well. But yeah, that's really all I got on that.
Yeah. Chris, how about you? Are you surprised by this?
Well, let's just say that I won't be surprised if this comes true, but after reading this piece, it's really more of it's sort of WDW's opinion based on O'Connell, the woman that Walden has put in this position.
As I said, like, this is something that we can just see based on the hires that she's making. She hasn't said anything, but again, I mean, it's the signal effect is not great though.
I agree, but it's Disney. The woman that's been put in this position has been with Disney since, almost 30 years, right? And she was president of a couple of the stations. She's been in the profit and loss division, and she's been with the company a long time. And really the main evidence is Disney's probably not going to change. And this woman on her LinkedIn profile comments on past partnerships with GLAAD and GLSEN, which is for gay children, of course. But Disney has done that for years. I mean, that's never going to change. Disney is never going to separate themselves from that activism. So if you are against that stuff, then you should just be against Disney altogether. They are never going to separate themselves from the LGBT community or activism. It will always be part of it. Now, will it always be part of its content? I hope not. I'm hopeful, but you know, some other trash website did a hit piece on us because we were kind of hopeful over hoppers, you know, like, oh, suddenly we're rooting for the enemy almost. So
Wow.
I mean, I'm not on that side, and I'm not saying WD Pro is either, or that Part Place is either, but I don't know. It's a little thin, the evidence of this. I'm sure it's going to happen, but I was just hoping that there would be a little more meat on the bone. That's all.
Yeah. Mr. Chato, how about you?
I don't know, and at this point, I don't care.
Yeah, I just knew you'd say that, which only goes to show how bad damage has
Yeah.
already been done into the Disney brand when people don't care. And this is kind of like my issue, that it's just a signaling effect. The optics of it are absolutely horrible. It's the same kind of thing, the same issue that I have with James Gunn hiring, for instance, Tom King at DC. Maybe Tom King has some hidden talent that we do not
Right.
know, but the optics are absolutely atrocious.
You know, if Disney was bringing in like adding to their board pastors, rabbis, parent group leaders or something like that, then I would expect some kind of real turnaround. But just keeping it hidden in the closet that doesn't mean anything. It's the messages may get more and more subtle, and they may take their not so hidden agenda and make it hidden again. But I don't think Disney's going to change, and this doesn't change my opinion in any way about Disney. Wouldn't be surprised.
Don't really inspire confidence though.
No.
Tom, rounding out, your thoughts on this?
Well, like you were saying, I mean, we don't know for sure. I mean, we can only extrapolate from what we know. Because we have seen Disney, in the very least, take some action to either trim down, trim out, delete, what have you, certain elements that they have admitted or we knew were of a certain ilk or whatever you want to put it, however you want to put it, to where I'm not saying that they won't change a little bit, but I'm with you guys where I don't think they're going to change all that much. But what I can probably speculate on is what would happen eventually if they do decide to keep going down this road, but also trying to keep that kind of crap out of their movies. It's just basically going to prove that most of these people are untalented, because that's the real challenge, right? Is to say, okay, now make something entertainment where it's not entertaining, that's not completely revolved around some political movement of yours. And most of them won't be able to do it, right? So at that point, you'll be able to like get rid of a lot of the crap and the people who aren't able to do their jobs. Because that's the thing, is I'm sure there's a lot of talented people that are woke. We've seen that. We've seen a lot of people that we loved back in the day come out and be complete wokey wokes. So it's like, well, what's the difference now compared to them? Is that just they're allowing their politics to get into their entertainment. So we knew they were talented, but they just need to make that change back to the way it was. Just keep your politics to yourself. You don't need to preach to everybody. You know, I mean, Gene Simmons just said it again. And I can't believe Gene Simmons, of all people, would be the smartest on this, along with a few other handful of individuals who are like, no, we just need to keep our mouth shut. The last people you should listen to about politics are people who live in Hollywood. Or, you know, because they don't have any fucking grasp of the real reality of life. And yeah, to them, this might be reality and reflective of the world they're in. But as Andre points out, they live in this bubble where 90% of the world is gay. So, I mean, he doesn't point it out exactly like that, but that's kind of the way. I mean, it's true. Let's be real. That's, I've heard a lot of people say that, let's get this gay content out of movies. It's like, well, I hate to break it to you, but a lot of people that work in movies and stuff are gay anyway. It just hasn't been in your face, right? Like last night, we were talking about on Toxic Tuesday a movie called Unleashed. It's a Jet Li movie. I don't know if you guys are familiar with it. But what's funny about that movie is if it was made today, it would be considered woke as fuck, because the whole movie is about choosing your own family, and it's about a family that gets made up of mixed raced individuals and all this other stuff. But the way they handle it, they never bring that stuff up. And I said, that's what's different about today compared to then, is today they would be making a big old deal about this being a chosen mixed family, as opposed to not calling so much attention to it like they did then. So
Well,
yeah,
I think we always have to be watchful that we're not just falling for the usual wokery and diving
Right.
into it unnecessarily. If you think about Up and the fact that the guy lost his house in the middle of the city and his house was expropriated and he had to leave on the balloons, that's an ecological story, or that's a story about big business taking over, the poor little old guy's house, and there was just no stopping the encroachment of progress and capitalism and big building. I mean, you could have made that argument with Up, right?
You could,
So-
yes. But the thing is how it's approached. And that was kind of my whole point of my argument. Like,
No, yeah, I get it.
Yeah,
So,
now, if you
haven't
redid,
seen Hopper,
yeah,
but
but if you redid Up now and say that you replaced it with an old white dude with an old black lady and just threw a bunch of woke shit in it, that's the thing, is like there's a big difference between one or the other. And we never used to have problems with gay characters or characters of color or anything like that. It was how
because
they
we
were
kept them out as we should have. That was the key.
Yeah.
See, that was back in the good old days.
You never
yeah.
watched Soap, I don't guess. Is that
I loved Soap.
okay?
We
Well, then
have
you're
the
full of
series
it.
on
You're
DVD.
totally full of it.
Loved it. But they hired Billy Crystal to be the gay guy.
Well, he's gay. Don't let him fool you.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Hello.
Breaking news.
Yeah.
Breaking news. Yes, they had
What are
to
we
Yeah,
talking?
so-
What are we talking about?
We'll see how Dana Walden pans out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's just say I'm not encouraged, other than the fact that they have tamped it down a bit, right? But there's
It's just
it's like that old joke about a turd in the punch bowl or something. You can move it over here, but I'm still not going to drink any of that punch. You can even scoop it out. I'm not going to drink any.
That is a very,
Have none of you
Don't be
seen-
drinking the turd, I guess.
Have
Is that
none
your
of you
message?
seen Mad Magazine's Up the Academy? Come on.
Years and years and years ago.
Okay.
Yeah.
I've seen it a dozen times. Sorry. That's my fault. It's an affliction.
I have
very
some of
good.
my Mad magazines in the basement.
It's a movie. No, it's a movie.
Oh, I have not.
Up the Academy, man.
Yeah, it was famous because for a while there, Mad TV sued to try and get their names off of it because the movie was so bad.
Oh, Mad TV.
No.
Did
No,
the
no,
movie.
no. It was
Mad
actually,
Magazine.
this is way back in the early 80s. They
Mad
did like
Magazine.
an Animal House ripoff,
Ah.
basically. And Alfred E. Newman's actually in the movie too, but then there's a version of it, I guess, where because they sued to get their name off of it and they cut that bit out.
How on earth do you?
Alfred E. Newman. Ooh.
The movie came out in 1980.
Yeah. Yep.
Okay, that's one I'm not going to catch up on.
You're
Yes,
not
you are.
missing
I'm going to
anything.
make you watch it.
What are we talking about? Old gay movies in Hollywood?
Yep, I guess so.
Well,
Victor
just a
Victoria?
We are now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
every
Sunday.
every Astaire movie.
Gene
Every
Kelly,
Fred
Rock
is-
Hudson,
Gene Kelly
John
was not.
Wayne.
Yeah, John Wayne was gay.
No, he wasn't.
Whoa.
I've dropped the trailer in the private chat if you guys need to know what Up the Academy is.
It's a hell of a movie. Let's put it that way. I will never say
Barbara
it's a good
Bach
movie.
really stands out in that movie.
it's an interesting piece of cinematic history. That's the best I can
Kind of
give it.
Porky's goes to a military academy.
It is kind of, like I said, it's got an Animal House-esque Porky's kind of thing going for it. And honestly, like I can see why Mad eventually was like, wait a minute, we need to take our name off this thing because just wasn't quite what I think they were expecting it to be. But anyhow, that being said, was that all the stories today, Andre? I think that was it.
That was it. We are caught up.
So with that, Paul, what do you got going on? I have no idea what I'm doing later.
I'm gonna be doing
I'm
the
going to,
TV Guide,
hopefully-
1934.
Hopefully, an appalling news expose. There you go. That's it.
Exposed. That just means you're going to come out in your underwear again.
Yes.
Yeah.
Better watch it nowadays, dog.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I do look forward to your exposés, those, because they're always funny, and not just for the reasons that Tom points out. But,
You know what? This is a piece on Canadian DEI bureaucracy.
Oh, there you go.
Funnily enough, those are very popular, and I don't understand why. And I have a very big American audience that says, "Wow, that's great. I'm glad I'm not up there."
Yeah.
What do you got going on, Chris, number 2?
Now.
Sorry.
We got a story out right now about that Star Wars gaming developer and VP executive that is suing Disney for $40 million
Excuse me.
over racial bias and discrimination. So we're rooting for him. Just the usual fanfare over at Bleeding Fool. Check it out at bleedingfool.com or at Bleeding Fool on X.
That would be a great character name, Rachel Bias.
Rachel, yeah, you caught that. I was hoping I said it.
I
That's a
caught
good
that
one.
too. Yeah.
I thought you were going to say
I-
Rachel Ziegler. I was like, what?
No, I love that. I am Rachel
Right.
Bias. And have someone misinterpret it. So Rachel Bias.
I'm Rachel Bias.
I'm
And-
Rachel
yeah.
Bias Ziegler.
We've got to get rid of Rachel Bias. What are you talking about?
Well, you know,
Paul, number 2, what you got going on?
that's Paulie to you, Pablito.
I know. You guys didn't miss the joke. I said Chris number 2, and I said
Yeah.
Paul number 2.
All right, Pablito, Clavito. I'm going to be live in 7 minutes with special guest Tom Connors of Midnight's Edge.
Ooh,
Nice.
Where's he been?
I hear he's quite famous and quite hard to deal
Been
with.
working my ass off.
And also difficult to find. So,
Uh-oh.
We got Laura Croft footage to tear down. All that fun stuff, kids.
Nice.
Stop on by.
Come on. Come join the curmudgeons on this crew and tearing things down.
Yeah. And then we got a new trailer from Russell Crowe. He's in a new movie called Beast.
Oh, nice.
Oh,
Yeah.
interesting.
So we'll react
All
to
right.
that.
If
All right.
anybody wants to join that Gun Bros and Snyder Bros battle going on, we have a pinned tweet at Bleeding Fool on X that kind of jabs James Gunn, and the comments are delicious. Just in time for your lunch break.
Oh, and one thing we didn't cover just briefly is the drop in audience ratings for the Oscars.
Oh,
Lowest
yeah, we didn't-
I have that graphed.
But briefly, yeah, we can mention that. Yeah, they had a 9% drop from last year.
Yeah. I have the graph from the last 20 years or something. We'll go over that in a few minutes.
Oh yeah, on your show. Perfect, Paulie. What a great angle, sir.
Excellent.
Hey. I'm just saying.
I mean, the content, it's just great content.
Right.
Just keeps going.
Yeah, don't be jealous, dude.
I'm a hater. I'm starting my show in 5 minutes and I don't have anybody watching.
You got a show in 5 minutes?
No, I have no show.
No, he's just talking.
Who hates
I'm
smack.
the only guy
now?
here that doesn't have a show.
You don't have to like me, but you don't need to hate me.
All right. Let's get out of here. Andre?
yeah. Well, with that, everyone, make sure to have a great rest of your day. Don't go anywhere. This stream redirects over to Latino's Land. And with that, let's enjoy some koalas in the rain.
Koalas in the rain, koalas in the rain. No
Koala, koala, koalas in the rain.